was born and raised in Nagpur, lived there for 19 years and then ran away from India because India was poor and I thought I wasn't going to make a lot of money. So went to US, did MBA, CPA and law and started practice and started doing local work with the local American community. And then year 2000 happened and the Newsweek magazine did a whole article, a whole issue on who will make money in the future. And I was turning close to 40 and I was looking for something different in life. And one of the articles in that whole magazine was people who live on or off a bridge will make money in the future. So management consultants, M&A consultants, people who can operate in 2 countries or many countries, worldwide, the 196 countries are going to start to do business with each other far more in future than they were in the past. And so people who live on or off the bridge will make money. So I decided to forget about the American community and decided to focus on the outside of America community, started to create bridges. And the first bridge, of course, is to your home country. Like Dr. Velumani said, you can't forget your soil and culture. And so I started focusing on India. And fast forward to today, 90% of my revenue comes from India. And of the top 100 Indian companies doing business in the United States, we work with 64 of them. So one little article reading and not living in your cocoon in your small city and focusing on a small city. It's a big world now. The world is flat and globalization. There's a lot of money to be made just looking outside of our cocoon. Was focused on problems that we can solve, the unmet areas, wherever the lacunas are. If you look around, the money is to be made in, like Dr. Velumani found, money is to be made in areas where nobody is providing that work or producing that product. And finally, I learned from the founder of Goldman Sachs, and he would always tell his employees, be long-term greedy. And I'm always telling my employees are always complaining to me, well, this client didn't do this and this and this and this. And I say, is this going to matter in 5 years? Forget about this tiny transaction. Let's be long-term greedy, and that's helped a lot. And 90% of the stress is gone with that one comment, is this going to matter in the next 5 years? And let's be long-term greedy. Like President Kennedy once said that, ask not what the government can do for you. So the minute you ask me anything that has the word government in it, I don't have an answer. I can live in the United States for 1 year and not utter the word government. And I land in Mumbai and get in an Ola or Uber, and on the drive to the hotel in the next 45 minutes, I'll hear the word government from the cab driver 5 times. If we are to go anywhere in this world, if India is to progress, one of the things we need to remove from our vocabulary is the government. I think it's numbers don't lie, so I'm a big numbers fan, and we should look at numbers, whether they're coming from the government or not. But I think we need to create not just startups, we need to create a lot of jobs. We need to create wealth, and wealth is created largely by creating employment, especially in a developing country. And whether you want to call it a startup or a mature business getting bigger, the bottom line is we all need to grow. Businesses need to grow. We need to create wealth. I'm reminded in 1927, Henry Ford one day showed up at his office and called his senior management and said, hey, how many employees do we have? And they said, we have 6,000 employees. He says, give them a 400% raise. And the manager said, what? The normal raise is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6%. He says, no, I want to give everybody a 400% raise. And the manager said, why? What happened? Why do you want to give everybody a 400% raise? He says, I just found out yesterday that with the cars we make, majority of our employees can't afford them. What are we doing? And then when you look at this line he said in 1927, 90 years ago, is so true of, if you think about India today, the rest of the world has gone from agriculture to manufacturing to service and retail. India has always been unique. India is now doing an experiment on how to go from agriculture, skip manufacturing, and go jump to retail and service. And if you look at a mature, and let China do the manufacturing, why do we want pollution and all? We have enough. And if you look at a mature developed countries of Europe, what do? They don't manufacture. How do they live? How do they live? Because they sit in a restaurant and eat and drink wine and sit on the streets and do shopping and enjoying life, right? So what's going on? What's going on? All the waiters are getting paid decently. So, and it's okay to be a waiter, right? So one way to solve all of India's problems is if we give every single person in India a 400% raise tomorrow. Everybody has money to buy more food, buy more clothes, buy more wine, go to more hotels, and millions of jobs are created. I think 500 years from now, it won't matter. Let's say we start a new company tomorrow in India that creates 20,000 jobs. 500 years from now, it won't matter whether it was a copy of something that was in Germany or Japan or US. We need to worry about our country. We need to create employment and we need to create wealth. And as far as feeling bad about copying, I don't feel bad at all. I encourage all of you to copy. I'm a lawyer, I'll help you. Copy anything and everything you want. The reason I say that is because in the year 1492, Christopher Columbus wasn't headed to America, he was headed to India. And why? Because all of the ideas and wealth was in India. So in the year 1500, 1600, 1700, 1750, India was the richest country in the world for at least 500 years. And then the decline started. And 3,500 years ago, we had the best plumbing in the world, right? So we taught plumbing to the rest of the world 3,500 years ago. Fine, right now 600 million of the 1.2 billion people in India don't have a bathroom. That's another story. But now as far as these ideas that we're copying from US, 1 out of 3 startups in US has an Indian entrepreneur. 1 of the 3 founders is an Indian. So IIT has graduated 200,000 graduates since the 1950s. 50,000 of them are sitting in United States. So here's a country, our country, that gave birth to these people. They survived childhood. We gave them free education, elementary, middle, high. Then we gave them free tuition in IIT, the best school, one of the best engineering schools in the world, for free. And then when they turned 23 and 24 and are about to contribute back to society for everything India had done for them, they ran away to another country and contribute to that country's production and growth. So if we're copying any idea from United States, trust me, it's an Indian idea. Please copy it.